Ooh, Big Daddy Hacks.
Holler if you hear me.
Welcome to the Big Daddy Hacks YouTube channel, or should I say, what up, what up? That's right. This interview is going to be with Will Taylor, the Slow Pitch Bat Bro. We had Will on, and he was phenomenal. Got to meet Will when I was down in Georgia. Hit against him in a home run derby and had a blast with him there. We invited him on, and it was a great show. So I know you guys are going to enjoy this interview.
Holler if you hear me.
There we are. What's up, fellas?
What up? This guy. Hey,
I don't say that in public. I only say that on video.
Hey, man, well, you're on video.
Just so we're clear, your background is backwards.
Yeah, that's true.
You have it mirrored?
But I like it. It's different. And
Oh, is it backwards?
Yeah, you got to mirror it.
Damn it. I specifically switched it because it was
Yep.
yeah, let's see. Damn it. I should have known.
Throws
All
you
right.
out because
Let me fix it in the course of 5 seconds right here.
Have it
Boom.
the way we'll throw you
You
out.
good?
If I want to make it look like I'm looking at you, I got to look towards the light. If I want to look at you, then it looks like I'm looking down and away. Because people write me like, hey, pay attention. I'm like, I'm looking right at him. It just doesn't look like it because the way it's mirrored on the background.
Did I fix it?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
It looks good,
Let's go.
You're back in action now.
Back in action, boys.
brother.
All right.
So, this guy right here, man, brings a lot of energy to the game. And that's why we had to have you on here, man. We already talked offline, but for all y'all, I mean, you got to know him because he's a YouTube sensation. We'll get into that in a second. But Will brings a lot of energy any environment he's in, whether he's playing, whether he's making a video, whether he's in a derby, doesn't matter. Always like brings everybody around him up. Love it,
Well-
man. So welcome to the show.
Give a proper introduction. Let's tell everybody who he is.
So this is the softball slow pitch bat bro. Now he's got a lot of guys around him, a lot of good people too, a lot of other good guys in your crew. But you're kind of the face, and I've gotten to know you personally, so that's why you're here, not them. So if they wanted you on the show, they should have got to know me. But Will here, his other name is Mr. 16 for Mr. 16. See,
Sweet
this is the
16.
guy.
I like to call him Sweet 16.
This is the guy.
16, baby.
Took out Big Daddy Hacks in the Military World Series Home Run Derby. And, this guy earned it. He was hitting a shot of it. As you guys can tell, if you watch the ad video, that's why I made sure I put that in there. It shows he was hitting tank shots, man. This guy's got pop. Absolutely loved it. I was having a good time hitting with him, hitting against him, and watching him hit earlier into it. Because, well, before we get into a little bit more about you, let's talk about that derby a little bit.
Yeah.
Everything was long, wasn't it? It took a while.
There were too many people. There were just too many people.
It started off, I think, what we have, supposedly we had like 30, and then it just kept growing, and he kept taking on more and more. And
I think it probably got so with like the do-overs, it probably was about 40 initial rounds.
yeah,
Which just it just takes forever, dude. Anything can happen. Like you can get cold in that time. People can have a few too many drinks in that time. Like you're a different hitter every time you come up there when it's 30 minutes apart.
yeah, you're sitting there waiting to hit, and but it was great to see some of the guys that hit. I see the different bats too, what people were doing. Like
It was a good time, yeah.
yeah, and see some of the performance, like the guys that you knew that were swinging legit, and seeing the performance of the other bats out there at manufacturers. I was really impressed with Worth and Mike, and I was still swinging for another at the time, but it really turned me, like seeing those mocks hitting it, the Worth and what was the other one that really turned my head was that Savage.
The Envious, dude. Yeah, the Savage was incredible. The Envious was out there big.
Oh yeah, that's the other one.
Dude, and the ESTs are always just stupid.
Gross.
Yeah.
So tell everybody what is the Slow Pitch Bat Bros?
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So the Slow Pitch Bat Bros is actually kind of the second brand we created. It's an extension of the Baseball Bat Bros. So, and what it is literally purely, it's just what everyone sees. We're just a YouTube channel. We have the Baseball Bat Bros and we have the Slow Pitch Bat Bros, and we just post videos reviewing bats, and we try to stay as unbiased and as unaffiliated as possible.
Honest reviews.
Exactly, man. We'll give bad reviews, and people often don't like us for it. And we'll give negative reviews. We like to be polite about it still, but we'll give positive reviews, and every now and then we'll put out ranking lists. But typically, like on the slow pitch side, we'll post about once a week, highlight a specific bat, typically put it up against something else, say which one we like better, bring out the compression tester, see how it does with that, see how it does with different hardness of softballs, see how it swings. We do both ASA and USSSA. Thinking about getting into senior bats eventually here, but yeah, man, just unbiased YouTube reviews, and we hit bombs and tell people what we think, and it really caught on.
So you're like Barstool Sports pizza review.
Exactly.
Slow pitch softball.
Dude,
I'm the Davey Portnoy of bats.
David Portnoy of bats. Okay, so I like that. I can get behind it. I watch him on Instagram. I think he's hilarious. I love the fact that he just serves it straight up. I mean, he's ice.
I love it.
We talked about this, man.
I love it. So
we talked about this the other day on the phone, Will and I. We talked about, like, there's been lots of people doing video bat reviews for a long time.
Yeah.
But the reason why his is entertaining and it turns to is he's excited every bat he swings, man. Like, he's, ho, come on, get legs. Like, every time. Like, some people they're trying to be too, whatever. Your production's great. I think you guys know with your production.
Being charismatic.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Write that down. I'm going to you can Google it if you want to, Hulk.
I can't spell it, man. You want me to write it down?
You, because Will brings that to it clearly. I've watched him. He's got a ton of energy.
Yep.
Any bat company would be silly not to do like a team up, not necessarily in like a – because you don't want to lose your thing, right? Like your thing
totally.
is honesty. But what they should do personally, I mean, if it was me, if I was a bat company, I would be like shooting you bats to swing and review.
Yeah.
And then kick them back, you know what I'm saying? Or let you raffle them off or whatever. I mean, and give honest reviews, because all that is, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad publicity, it's publicity, right? So, I mean, this is fun. This is like right down my alley. I love seeing new and innovative and just different things. It's not like you have reinvented the wheel, so to speak, but like in Shark Tank, have you built a better mousetrap? And it sounds like your honest reviews of slow pitch bats in general has just caught on like wildfire. Is that correct?
Oh,
Yeah. I appreciate that, man. And like the enthusiasm and how I like am getting excited about every bat I swing. Like, to your point, it's actually authentic, because I really credit that to the fact that, like, I'm honestly pretty new to slow pitch. I've been a baseball guy my whole life. And literally when I pick up these bats, it kind of looks like I'm swinging it for the first time. That's because it is. Like, when I'm swinging, like an Anarchy, when I'm swinging a lot of the new Mike and Worth stuff, when I'm swinging an Easton, it's typically one of the first times I've ever swung that bat. And I honestly don't know what to expect. So it's a really exciting thing for me, and it's really fun. It's a discovery process for me. And I'm learning as I'm going and finding out new cool things about these bats, where a lot of people have kind of grown numb to, like, for example, Mike and Worth. They've had the same technology for a while, and it's excellent. I think it's some of the best in the game, hands down. And people have grown bored of it just because it's been the same for a while. But I'm discovering it for the first time, and I'm like, this stuff's badass. So like I like kind of bringing that back to the surface when it deserves the hype.
I'm a Worth Miking guy. Like I love it. I've been doing the product for a long time. I've got personal connection to it. And for the longest time there's no reason to change the product, because it's
why would you?
Product. But there are other products that are coming out, right?
Yeah.
And all the other brands are making their products better. DeMarini, Easton, the Pure stuff, Anarchy. I mean, all these, and then there's some new bat manufacturers that are coming out. All this stuff is super competitive, and it's not that Worth and Miken, I think, needs to change the technology, because it's still. I mean, it's all competitive, it's all relative. I think what they need is they need a shot in the arm.
Hmm.
They need a jump start, right? And not a jump start, but like a relaunch, because they've been able to for years sell bats based on player models, having SMUs, which is the special makeup unit, right? Which is like exclusive for whatever dealer they have working with them. And so the SMUs and all that, and the Easton product has turned out fantastic. The Pure product has turned out pretty good too. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I mean, DeMarini has, I mean, they have just, if you've noticed, and I know you're new to slow pitch, but I'm not. I'm an old dog, right? So DeMarini went through a phase where they were at the top.
Yeah.
And then they kind of fell off, right? And they kind of like what Easton did for a little bit. They were at the top, and then they kind of fell off and, floundered around a little bit, and then they shot back up. They gave themselves like an auto and, like a B12 shot. You know what I mean? Like, pow, shot themselves in the arm, shot it back up, got it back going again. My opinion, I hope that I can help Worth and Mike and be the shot in the arm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that product is something I grew up on. I mean, I grew up on Easton too, but man, in the freaking mid 90s, mid to late 90s when I first started playing softball, and that was still aluminum, but then it was getting into composite. And, I mean, it was a game changer. Like, we were swinging TPSs and Eastons, the tri-shells, and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you get the Miken Ultra that comes out. Actually, the first one was the Velocity. Nobody even knew about it, but then everybody was like the Ultra. Well, back then, dude, we were hitting Super Dupers, which is a 47.525 ball back then.
I love that.
Dude, it was unbelievable. Decker big sharks distances and like all these hard balls. And you hit that composite. Composite was new. PST were out. It was cool. They tried to do the titanium bats as well. It was
double wall.
Huh?
The double wall.
But hey, the first bat that ever came out, which is why I said DeMarini, was the 95 DeMarini distance double wall.
That's awesome.
It came out and it revolutionized the aluminum bat. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've still got one in my shop. It's like a door stop for my back door.
Wasn't it like
that in a BJ Folk one, because that's all it was good for back in the day. But
wasn't it like in like 96 in that time frame? That's when they had the first titanium and it was too hot. And they ended up banning it, and that's when they said we got to revamp aluminum, and that's when I think the double wall tech kind of hit the market, right?
Well, the titanium, what they did, right, is that when the titanium came out, that was when people were still squaring the ball up. Nobody was cutting the ball. Aluminum bats, you had to square it up, and that's how you muscled them out.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So when the titanium bat came out, if you squared it up, you would dent it. Not like you dent aluminum, because you did, right? But it was, at the time, it was the most expensive bat. It was like $495 or something. I mean, back then, that was expensive. Like, every other one was like $189. You know what I mean? Like, nothing was breaking $200 until the PST. So once they figured out the only way to hit that titanium bat was to cut the ball, people's swing started to change. And then they realized, oh crap, this is how I'm supposed to hit a softball, right? Is I'm supposed to cut it so it just, rocket out. And then the PST, and then obviously a slew of other bats came out, but then that fed into the composite side of things. And once composites came out, aluminum was gone. See you later. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and composite was one of the best and worst things that ever happened to softball.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you went back to an aluminum bat and a hard ball, like a 47.525, you would see that a lot of these guys that are hitting the ball, I don't know, 350, 375, they're going to be fence scraping, missing, all that. I mean, which is, it's a different era, right? So that's the cool thing about it. Maybe you ought to do, I'm going to throw this out there. Maybe we can get you some aluminum bats from somebody, and we can do like a nostalgia. Maybe you can wear like the bike shorts the coach's shorts,
Yeah.
the high socks. You know what I'm saying? And have somebody throw that unlimited art, like a throwback. Maybe you could put on like a
Taking it back like the Rick days.
Maybe like a Damon Stoudemire jersey. Hey, I have a bat that I want to show you. I want to see what you know about it, because I had a fan send me this old one-piece composite Mikan. I don't know anything about it. I want to see what you know about it. Let me go grab it.
Go grab it. I'm listening.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing some of these comments on here too. And there was a lot of other good bats that were at that derby. Like you said, we kind of talked about DeMarini there for a minute, and we talked about that like before came on with swinging Mikan and Worth. DeMarini had sparked my interest because they had changed a lot. And they used to be like I like different too, and I like seeing things come back. And what really triggered me to come back in now and swing the Mikan and Worth is like after talking with you, like being that booster shot to give it that run again. What is that? Oh yeah.
That is the one of the.
I can say
that was the first Denny Crine cycle, right?
Yeah, it was the first Denny Crine version, like the might have been third thing. Remember, they had the cycle, then they had the black and white cycle, then they had some other ones, and they came out with the Denny Crine, and that was after the MV1, and the MV1 took everything by storm because Mikan had been hot and had some good bats, but the difference with the MV1 was it was hot right out of the wrapper. Like you could take it right to a tournament, pull it out of the wrapper, and it performed. And then when it opened up, it got retarded. But that Psycho kind of replaced the MV1. Color-wise, it looked kind of similar except for Psycho's in orange. And that bat is juicy. Yeah, that Denny Crine is gross, man. You open that thing up, you're going to hit some tank shots. I know Patsy, we had a bunch of them back in the day.
Who would know who could weigh in on this, and they're watching right now? The person that could help us out with this is BJ Folk.
Hell yeah, he could.
BJ, I know you're watching.
BJ, we know you lost that bat a bunch of times in the long haul derby, so tune in on this, man. Let us know. How's that thing hit?
Tell us about Denny Crine's bat, that Psycho that Will is holding up. I'm watching for your response. Tell us how much better that bat was than any BJ Folk bat that Worth ever produced.
And how do you guys think that bat compares to like a 2021, you know, like a Mach 1? Do you think, like, when I swing that thing with a Classic M, is that going to compare?
So those bats back in the day, I'm not sure about that particular one, but the way that the composites were laid, this is why the Easton Synergy Plus, they were the originals. They were all hand rolled back in the day. So there wasn't consistency, but they weren't, from what I understand, right? And hopefully somebody can change my outlook on this. But this is everything I've been told. Is they were hand rolled and hand laid. So they cracked faster, but they were hotter because there was gaps in the composite.
Okay.
I mean, it's human error. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, right? So that's why those bats, of course, now everything is automated. You know, either it's made overseas or a lot of them are still made in the States. But that's why back in the day, and I'm not sure how the Ultras were made, but I mean, I'll tell you, man, to answer your question directly, that bat with a Classic M, that bat was never built for a Classic M.
Okay.
It was built for a harder ball.
Right. So more like a stadium, or even harder than that?
No, I think
44,400.
back then it was the elite ball.
The elite and the
44. It was an elite and a distance. The distance was a 47. The elite was a 44.
Tell them what it used to be. Like when you were like an ED team, you hit a 44,400 elite ball, and as you moved up from C or above, then you usually hit the distance. Correct? That's how.
No, dude. Listen, when we first started playing U-Trip, it was aluminum bats, composite bats, and Decker Big Sharks or Worth Super Dupers.
Yep.
47 525s.
Nuts.
I mean, listen, it was freaking let it eat. And let me tell you something. That was back when, shaving bats was like brand new.
Yep.
Right? Because you can't shave an aluminum bat. So that was back when people were freaking popping the end caps off and freaking cylinder honing. There was no rhyme or reason. They would just, giving it the business, popping the cap back on and freaking.
And they give it that. We had, there's a lot of people that take like the old recoils and stuff like that and shave them, and they are just cannons. That cycle, the MV1 was like the first Miken to come out in a long time. You didn't want to do nothing to it. You just left it alone. So you get your hands on MV1 and compare it to that Psycho. That's a good comparison. That Psycho was the next gen that you really didn't have to do anything with it. It was a change in the game where don't do anything to this bat, just hit it. And when they changed the ball, everybody was concerned. Remember, the mullet was the first time we really experienced it. They went to the Classic M. It was like, well, that's going to change everything. It's going to suck and dumb down the ball. That bat was a very popular bat during that time when they changed the ball. And no problem whatsoever hitting those ends. We saw actually probably more home runs, that mullet, than we had in the past couple of years. And that bat was one of them. It was one of the ones it's a rocket launcher. You're going to have fun hitting it. But, yeah, it's going to be a different feel than that's today, a little bit different sound to it. But once you get that feel for it, you're going to fall in love with it. It's gross. You're going to have fun.
That bat, I'd love to see you do one where it's same bat. I mean, different bats, same balls, and really like even like Google Earth some of your farthest ones with each one. I mean that's a great comparison.
Yeah, we might bring up the for this one. I'll try to answer it myself. How does this stack up against the new stuff? I'll try to hit like a really hard ball. Just this kind of has a shot. I'll put this up against maybe the KP or something like that. Kind of a longer barrel though, so. No, put it up against the Creature.
That swing with it though, it was a great swinging bat. It was real smooth, and it had a matter of whoever had it, you pick it up and you just fell in love with it. I mean, they sold so fast, it was ridiculous. And kind of hopping on that, you've done a lot of great reviews. Let's get into how that started. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your history in the game, because I know you're started out baseball. Like you said, you're still fresh to slow pitch. Let's talk about you a little bit and your history of it. How did you start getting into to softball and what led to it?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, yeah, that's a great question, and I'll kind of talk about it in the sense of how the channel started. So, like 2 years ago, I really started getting back into the game once I moved, because I went to college in Salt Lake City, Utah. I played baseball at the University of Utah, and I moved back to Oregon. And I have a little brother; he's 8 years younger than me, and he's still playing high school ball out here in Oregon. I'm from you guys know, I'm a Pacific Northwest guy. Yep. Bunch of U-trip, flat pitches, wet weather. You know how it is. But hey, I did a shout out to the Midwest folk. I did 2 ASA videos today. It's been a while. But I swung a DeMarini Nihilist, and I swung the Monster stuff. I swung a Torch against a Sinister. Dude, they're very, very, very good. I will say the Creature is the one bat that I think kind of rivals it in the ASA space. But those monsters are hot, bro. But all right. So, anyways, I came back and we started kind of looking for bats for John, my little brother. And he had like a bunch of bats. We'd test bats he had in that high school clubhouse. And we kind of started buying bats off of eBay just to try them out, and we'd flip them. And in order to flip them, we would make little 90-second YouTube review videos where we'd say, all right, here we have the 2013 Rawlings Trio or something like that. And we'd take a few hacks with it, just like uncut, 4 swings. Good unloaded bat, really excellent condition. We're selling this thing for like $50. Check it out on our eBay page, link in the description. And the bat would sell, in 4 or 5 days. And I'd check back like a couple months later, and the video had like a few thousand views. And we had some comments like, yo, you guys are studs. You should keep making these videos. So we eventually we had a couple DeMarinis, and we tried like a balance for some unloaded comparison. It did pretty well. And we started kind of considering like, hey man, maybe we should ditch the bat flipping game where we're making like $80 a month and actually kind of dig into these review videos. And this is around the time where I started like first playing slow pitch ever. I have this big old uppercut swing that you'll still see every now and then in like the tournament videos. And I did not consider myself a slow pitch guy at all. Still totally a baseball guy. and we ended up buying a couple bats to do reviews with. And I guess we really found a niche like very quick because it just went like this, man. We have at this point, I think on the baseball side, 130,000 subscribers, and our first videos were like 1 year from today. So we're very, very young, and about 5 months, not even 5 months, maybe like 3 months into it, Headbanger Sports reached out to us and said, "Hey guys, just so you don't have to buy your bats, we can supply you with demos. If you guys shout us out, could be a win-win." So we started doing that. They sent us some baseball bats, and then eventually, after a few good videos, they're like, "Hey, what if we send you some slow pitch bats?" I was like, "I don't know, man. I don't really know much about the slow pitch game." And I was like, and I had just got picked up by like a C team. We're now a B team. We had a pretty good run at Worlds last year. But I'm the classic baseball player on a softball field. I have a really good arm. I'm fast. I hit a bunch of humpies that spin over the shortstop's head for a double. But like, I'm finally learning to cut the ball, right? I cut the ball in BP, and that's about it. But if you look at our very first Slow Pitch Bat Bros video, I'm swinging a Worth Mach 1 428 against a Worth Mach 1 302 ASA. And it's just the worst uppercut freaking flare job video you've ever seen in your life. And I finally, like, you'll see in my recent videos, BP only in the game, I haven't quite figured it out. I'm finally relaxing the swing, relaxing the shoulders, and cutting the ball a little bit and get the ball to backspin a little bit. But yeah, basically they just kind of like lightly forced me into it. Like, "Hey, you want to swing some slow pitch bats?" I was like, "Okay, if you wanted to send me bats, I'll do my best and make some videos out of it and see what kind of insight I can give." And like, big shout out to Headbanger for that. They kind of like pushed me into like that comfort zone of trying to learn about these bats. And I've got to the point where like I'm pretty impressed with myself. I have a decent comprehension of these slow pitch bats. Like the baseball stuff, I can like do it in my sleep, but the slow pitch stuff I have to like research. The compression testing has completely revolutionized the way we do things. And again, similar to the baseball thing, man, the audience responded. Like if I did a few slow pitch videos and it didn't catch on and people didn't really care, I would have ditched it, but people were all over it, man. People really liked the analysis. And again, I think like, it doesn't take a really, really good hitter or anything to have a successful bat review YouTube channel. It takes, it's half like entertainment and it's half like production value, and it's like editing well. Like if you're doing it right, you should be spending as much time editing, if not more, and analyzing as you are actually hitting. A lot of people just film their full round and throw it up on YouTube, and unfortunately people don't want to watch you shag balls for 20 minutes. So
yeah, I hear you.
I think the best part about it, though, it feels like when you watch one of your videos, you have done the research on the bats and what you're talking about. And I totally get, like we talked, yesterday a little bit about that. It's different when even coming from swinging for a different manufacturer. I knew everything about their product. You could call me, ask me, and I could explain it to you. Now I'm learning everything I can about Miken and Worth and what the differences are and the handles and everything else and what makes them unique. So it is research. It is a lot of work because you want to sound knowledgeable, especially when you're doing these videos. But one of the best things about your videos, like I said, when we go on road trips and stuff, like I'm getting ready to go on one next week, I watch a lot of your videos, and a lot of it is because it feels like a real session. It feels like we're really like we're out there hitting together, and you're having a good time with it, and like it's not like you just put up your best hits either. Like you're not filming a whole session of shagging balls and around, but you got some hits that they're like, "Oh, come on!" Like, and you're talking, you were like, "Get legs," and it's like. It feels like we're really out there. Like when Brandon's sitting, I'm like, "Come on, White Panther, hit that shit," and that's what gets you going. Like before he was a Silver Fox, I used to call him the White Panther because he snapped out the balls that he made a play down at Worlds a few years ago where he turned around, caught it behind his back, and I said, "Look at that paws on that guy, like a panther." And so I started calling him the White Panther. But yeah, it was, dude. I know he caught that one, but he got it. But no, that's what it feels like. So some people, when they do the reviews, I love bats. I love hitting, like I talked to you about. I absolutely love this game. But sometimes you get like, oh, on yours, I'm like, oh man, this dude's going at it again. Here we go. And some of the other hitters you got, you can see the difference in experiences. The guys you had probably play a little bit more than some of the others, and how their swings are and stuff, but still hitting and giving those reviews and hearing it from different levels, of athletes and guys come up in the game, what they think of the bat, and the interaction between you guys out there, and sometimes it's just you solo. It's really good, man. It draws a lot of people in.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and really, I think what makes it good, especially on the slow pitch side, again, it's truly a discovery session for myself. There's all the manufacturer marketing and the dealer marketing about how the bat is supposed to perform. And it's a lot of the time, it's really me going in, just knowing the specs of a bat and like testing the compression, and here we go. Let's see what it's got. Like I'm fresh off of, and like, it's really beneficial too when we're comparing it against something else, because anyone can go out and swing a bat for the first time and say it's good, but like, how does it compare against the other stuff? That's why we try to do a lot of our exit velo stuff. And I'll share some of the results of the most recent one, because we got the good fans tuning in for the live stream. But the Freak 23, the KP, took the crown in our most recent exit velo session. Dude, it's cold out here, so the balls are very, very hard. And my previous record, I think I filmed it in like March or April. We had a DeMarini Auto I hit at 104, but now, it's like December, so the balls are a lot harder. We had the Freak 23 pop a 108 on the exit velo tracker, so that was very fun to see. I think our top four were, number one, we had the Freak 23. Number two, we had a Louisville Genesis. Number three, we actually had a Freak Primo, the 14-inch barrel. And then Brungart's Nautil I got fourth. So good showing out of Mikan.
What did you think about the Genesis?
The Genesis is – okay, so I'm a guy that when I see a ton of marketing hype, I get annoyed. It's like, okay, like show how the bat performs. You can say all you want about a bat. The Genesis was actually very, very good. I loved the Genesis. It's the best Louisville I've swung, and it's incredible. It has a unique feel. If a guy's coming from a flexy two-piece, they might not love it because it brings the hands up a bit, but it's hot, man. It's really hot. We broke the first one we swung pretty quick. To be fair, we broke an axe bat like 5 minutes before. We broke two bats within like 45 minutes of each other because it was pretty damn cold outside. But it also did very, very well in the exit velo testing. Those bats are hot, man, especially the new black one. But my gamer right now is Mike and Worth short barrel. I swing that orange Mach 1, or I swing the KP.
I heard that Genesis was good. We got on my team Scott Hartling, and he's a Louisville guy, and
oh yeah,
he doesn't have a clue how to cut a ball, but he can absolutely smash one in the mouth. You know what I mean?
He's a strong man.
I can't imagine, and he hits so much. I'm surprised that he doesn't his hands aren't bleeding. You know what I mean? Like he hits that much, and he puts a lot into the game though. And again, over the last couple of years, he's really learned to cut. I'm just messing with him about that. But the first time we ever played together was a few years ago, and man, he was just squaring it up and knuckling everything and freaking rolling things over. And
that's what I did.
Yeah, he was just strong as an ox. I mean, the guy can mash it, man. My point is that he's a Louisville guy, and I can only imagine if you're busting those Genesis, I can only imagine how many he's going to end up busting if he ends up swinging that bat this year.
Yeah.
During one of your reviews, didn't you say too, because I watch them, and you're talking about the Genesis being like your exit velo, and you're going for distance, you still favored the Mikan Worth and that feel, but for absolute, like if you're going for average, if you're going to try to bat 800-900 that weekend, and that's what your role is to be the average guy, you'd most definitely swing that Genesis because you were hitting some shots. Maybe it wasn't just, maybe it was the other one that you were swinging.
So that was actually, I know exactly what video you're talking about. That was the Louisville ASA bats.
Okay.
I specifically could not get much and it's tough, man. Whenever there's a lot of brands that take constructive criticism pretty well. If you talk bad about a Louisville, you get hounded, bro. Like all the reps are just coming at you. So I'll be careful. But yeah, the TPS and the TPZ, I was having a tough time getting a ton of distance out of those. They felt amazing though. Good for giving big old barrels. And I like those were a couple bats I had some of my best rounds ever with. I just wasn't hitting the ball super far. And in ASA, you know, that's actually really beneficial. So I didn't mind it too much. But yeah, if I'm trying to hit the ball as far as humanly possible, I'm swinging a short barrel Mike and Worth or a Nautilus.
You know,
So which bat did you use to beat the number 1 seed? I'm just curious.
I was repping Headbanger that weekend, so I was swinging the Headbanger exclusive Cartel, which is basically a Twisted Mistress from DeMarini.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you use the DeMarini, which is not even your gamer, to beat him, which I mean I love to hear.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
If you watch
I was 4 out of 5, man. I got lucky.
watch the video.
You only have to hit it 300 feet, and we were hitting stadiums. So
Right.
I will say old Daddy Hack's furthest ball was about 100 feet further than mine. So
So it felt good. That round I went 9 for 10. I was locked in that round.
that was unreal, bro. You had the single most impressive round out of anybody in that tournament. Out of all 40 rounds there, you had the single most impressive round.
I appreciate that. And it was locked in, and you got locked in the same way. That's what it was fun. When I hit that, you see like the smile on my face when I hit the second line drive. I knew you beat me. I smiled. I said, I walked right up to you. I said, "You got it now, man. Win this thing." And then you messed. You should watch my language a little since we're recording these now for YouTube. But you really let me down. I was like, please just win this thing. So I could say, yeah, the guy was 16, but he beat the number 1 seed. It'd be a Cinderella story. One for the ages. The 16 seed beats number 1, makes a run all the way to the championship. And then he didn't. So now I just like crap.
Then I lost to a guy slinging an ASA bat.
I know. That was ridiculous. And I walked up to his team. I go, well, I hope you guys enjoyed having that guy in B because he's now an A player tomorrow. Because that guy
For
was
real,
hitting shots. And I didn't realize he was swinging ASA, so I went back and watched. And I hear you in the background going, yeah, this guy's swinging an ASA bat, unreal. And I go, shit, that wasn't an ASA bat he was swinging.
I don't know why he would do that. It was like the barrel was too soft.
Oh my
Like he was losing distance. The barrel was way too soft for stadiums.
Wow.
That didn't blow up.
You know, it's after like talking to you more and more, I went back to do some more review because I was trying to pull some video and some footage for your ad for our live, and I saw the one where you were comparing a U-Trip bat to an ASA bat, hitting the 52s, and I left you a comment on there because it was a good review, but you did it with TPS. And I think a lot of that is you were getting better results with the ASA TPS because it's designed to hit that ball. But I think that varies by manufacturer as well, because as we've seen here, playing a lot of it, like if you were to take a Ghost Mondo and then swing that Motherlode Resi, I almost guarantee you're going to be more impressed with that Motherlode Resi hitting ASAs over the Ghost Mondo. But then again, with the Micans, it depends on what ASA tech you're swinging for the Mike and Worth compared to their U-Trip tech. But even here, we have a lot of tournaments that are set up like WSL almost, where you can swing a U-Trip bat in ASA. There's like little like charity tournaments, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people swing their U-Trip because it just outperforms their ASAs. And that's why I said when you do the review, I'd be interested to see you do that review again down the road, but doing it with different brands. Like so a Mike and ASA versus the Mike and U-Trip with an ASA ball or the Easton, and to see how that performs that way. I think it'd be
absolutely. That's a really good point because Louisville, at least, you know, outside of the Genesis, just going back 1 year, they are one of the most unique bat manufacturers where the compression is just so far above the limit out of the wrapper. Like even their ASA stuff, you have to bang the hell out of those bats to get them anywhere close to failing. So we had 2 bats that had 1,000 swings left in them before their failing compression that we were testing there, like the old Z5, the Cuz, basically, and the TPS. So I agree, man. That'd be interesting to see. For example, like 2 really good Worths, like the U-Trip Creature versus the Mikan Creature, or no, the U-Trip Creature versus the USA Creature. That'd be a fun showdown. Because I think you're right, man. I think we might see some different results, especially because those Mike and Worth barrels, in my opinion, hit a softer ball very, very well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the bat you should try to get at some point in time. TPS, Louisville, when they first came out with the Z2000, they were busting real quick, right?
Yeah.
So I was on a Louisville team at the time. They sent us the Sonics, not the Sonic Plus. It was, it was a one-piece ASA bat. And they sent it to us thinking that they were like, oh, it's our ASA bat. It's not that good kind of thing. Swing this for BP. Don't use your Z2000. Don't use your gamers. We started swinging that Sonic. And we're like, this is real. So everybody started wanting those Sonics. And then they changed it to a Sonic Plus and they mixed it up a little bit. But if you can get the original Sonic and hit whatever ball you want, they did something really special. That's the one thing that stands out in my mind. Louisville's has some great bats, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure that Genesis is unbelievable. I haven't swung it. I'd like to, actually. I'd like to swing it and see how I feel with it as well. But if you can ever get a Sonic.
You think about it too, like TPS really it started changing the game for ASA with the Z1000 when they came out with that floating inner barrel. They were kind of the first ones to really be known for that. And then for U-Trip, all of a sudden the Z1000, when they went back to that tech now, I never was really impressed with it for U-Trip. But their Z2000 was always like their bread and butter, I thought, for U-Trip when we had those. Those were disgusting back in the day. But for ASA, TPS really was onto something when they came out with that Z1000, changed things. And then you see Carl with Monster took, something like that and made it his own and completely changed the game of Monster. And it forced all the other manufacturers to pick their game up and say, all right, we're going to have to change things up to compete in the ASA. So there's a lot of good old tech that you could find and do that like whole generation of the transformation up to what it is now. And a lot of good coverage there. And I know we talked about like in the future being able to collaborate if we're in the same location or doing something. I think like Pat's and I talked about where up in Wisconsin where they have the Woodside Complex, they have some open tournaments where you can kind of put a team together. And I said, man, it'd be fun to bring some boys and go to something like that to give people the experience that haven't played there because it's a 380-foot all turf ASA complex. We play nothing but ASA there. So you're getting the big boy fields, but you're only hitting ASA balls and you're swinging ASA USA bats. And it's beautiful. It looks like the Wild Wild West there. And it'd be a fun one to get some guys together and do a collaboration where you got the slow pitch back row there. We got clutch there. You can do your headbanger stuff there. You collaborate. I talked to Rhino about it too. It'd be some fun to get him involved on it and do a big video, big shout out, something good for that area. And also show some people because we talked about how that should be an area where they have a big venue and might help grow it that way. But I think you have a lot of fun and be able to have you there would be a great experience as well. But
you guys put together a team for that. I'm in, boys.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, man, that's cool. We got a question. What about a Monster ASA with a U-Trip ball? I give it 1.5 swings. And then
that's what I said. I consider bus quit.
It's funny you say that because they do that at they used to do it at the Dells. You used to have it was like a composite cover M, and I was there playing it my first time playing it, and the guy's like, this guy's cheating. He's swinging a U-Trip bat. I'm like, well, why the hell wouldn't I? We're hitting a U-Trip ball.
Yeah.
You guys swing ASA bats. I'm like, well, the fuck? All I got's Monster. Like, I'm not going to swing.
Expensive.
So I swung my buddy. My buddy didn't care. And he's like, yeah, you can swing mine. So I swung his torch. It lasted us a good little while. I mean, it lasted us through that tournament and it didn't last much longer after that. But talk about hearing it like a shotgun, especially in a dome.
Yeah.
It was scary sounding coming off there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they specifically say if you're not hitting, like they say with their warranty claims and everything, we'll be able to tell if you're not hitting a 52-300. They're very specific. Like,
hey,
you not hit any ball but a 52.
Knows his stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like he takes it personal if a bat busts.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like he's like, no, it doesn't. No, this bat is not going to bust. Now, don't get me wrong, bats bust, right? But like he when a bat comes in, right? I've had this discussion with him, and Daco will attest to it, and so will many other Monster guys. He will dissect the bat that's busted and try to figure out why and all of that. And he's just that way. Like he's like, Yeah, this is the reason why this bat busted. And like he just knows.
He's a mad scientist and he's on it.
He is a mad
He's the Gordon Ramsay of bats. You criticize your shit all day long, but you touch his shit. Oh no, not in Hell's Kitchen. You ain't messing with him.
Yeah.
So, when you do a lot of the research, how do you get most of your information? Are the guys sending you bats, giving you some information on it, or are you researching that all yourself?
Yeah, I do most of it myself, man, because people can say stuff, but I try to dig up as much as possible, read the description of the bats. But, dude, really a lot of it is, self-discovery. And really you can learn a lot about a bat by just taking a few swings with it, putting it on the compression tester, by the sound. And, there's not – like in the ASA space, it's a lot more ambiguous, and I feel like there's a lot more variability just because you're dealing with a softer ball and softer barrels. Whereas in the U-Trip space, if you're hitting a hard ball, everything's pretty damn good. And there's a lot. It's mostly just about like durability and compression in the U-Trip space, whereas ASA is a lot more tricky. And there's a lot more variables at play, but yeah, like I read the basic descriptions of these bats. Like for example, with Easton, is it Fireflex 4? Is it Fireflex OG? Are we dealing with a carbon zero handle or like their typical handle? Stuff like that. But then the rest of it is, how does it feel, man? How does it perform? How does it test? So the basics that pretty much everyone gets, but it's not like, on the baseball side, I'll get some like insider information, but on the slow pitch side, it's I'm trying to communicate and reflect what the average softball player, the average like D&E player would experience for themselves if they were to swing the bat.
I got something.
Go ahead, Ben.
I got an experiment for you.
Yeah, bring it.
Okay, here we go. So get one of each bat, U-Trip,
Okay.
with the Pro M ball.
Okay.
Okay? Every bat must start at 250.
That's not going to happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that you can hit it until it's at 250.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying there's a lot of bats that are in the wrapper at 230.
Well, then that one right there, obviously with the new tech, can't happen, right?
Yeah, it's qualified. I like it.
It doesn't qualify.
Yeah.
So you get 8 bats, right? Let's just call it 8 for sake of argument. So 2 from each manufacturer, maybe it's 10 bats. I don't know. Yeah. But anything you can hit it down. If it starts at 270, you can hit it down to 250. You're testing it. Once it gets to 250, it's a horse race.
Yeah.
Right? Each bat gets 10 swings.
Uh-huh.
Right? And you document your farthest balls with each bat.
Yep.
And then that's your honest review, right?
Yep. I'm ahead of you. I'm 10 steps ahead of you.
Oh, man, I thought I was onto something, too.
Well, you are. I mean, it's a good idea. That's why we also thought of it. USSSA Bat Madness. It's a knockoff of March Madness. We've done it on the baseball channel, and people love it. It took off like crazy, man. And we'll probably do it in February or March. We're trying to review pretty much every manufacturer out there before we officially do it. But yeah, we have like some fun ground rules in place. We're gonna try to exactly. We're gonna get every bat to a certain point, ideally like 250 or 240. If a bat doesn't start at that level, it might be disqualified. If a bat breaks, it's disqualified. We'll take 10, 20 swings with each bat to see what our favorites are, and it'll move on to the next round. If it busts, it's disqualified. The other bat moves on.
I have a challenge for all the bat manufacturers.
Bring it.
I'll make sure that you get the Worth and Mikan ones, the demos that you need.
Right on.
Okay. I'm challenging, I think he's still on here, Andrew Collins, to get some Pures for you.
Yeah, they sent one in. Josh Stubbs, I believe, is watching the stream. He's a really cool Pure rep. He's helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
They're sending me a 240. And they're talking a big game about their 240 integrities. People are hyping those up. So we'll see. I just swung my first Pure 2-piece. I really liked it a lot. It feels like it's a very, it still feels pretty damn end loaded. Doesn't feel as end loaded as the integrities. but it performs like a very, very short barrel, like almost reminiscent of like the old green and blue Bubba Club. It almost feels like a 10-inch barrel, but if you get it, oh my Lord, like one of those very small range, but it'll go a long, long ways.
Well, we'll get BJ to get with Cornell about getting some DeMarinis for you to try out. Whatever you need, you make a list, and we'll reach out to some contacts and see if we can just get you some stuff as demos. I think it's awesome. Like, especially if you're gonna put it on your YouTube channel, it's like it's a race to number one. Let's see what they got. I love it.
One of the advantages you got too is you actually got the ability to compression test, because a lot of your videos you talk about, well, these bats are real close with compression. Like this one's at 250, this one's like right there with it. And where a lot of people, they do reviews, they don't know, especially if people are sending them bats, they don't know exactly how many hits you're on or what it's compression testing at. Where you have that knowledge, and it's really cool that you do that. And I think what you guys are cooking up here, I think it'd be an awesome idea. I'd be looking forward to watching that on a road trip for sure. Make sure it's a long drive. And I think it's awesome. Like, you go back to what you got going on with YouTube, and you go back to, like we talked the other day about, there's a lot of imitators out there. There's people that were doing it before, but your show is special and unique, and kind of like our show. There's other people that have branched off. If they're promoting the game and trying to grow it, I wish them all the best. But Big Daddy Hacks Live is Big Daddy Hacks Live, and it ain't got Brandon Patzig, so it's not going to be Big Daddy Hacks Live status.
It don't have the silver. It don't have silver fox.
There's some other good ones out there. The Bad Hounda, he has another good product. His is different though, and I like that. What you got going on is something different. And like Rhino's the other guy out there. He's grown the game. He's made a lot of connections. He's a lot for the game. Respect the hell out of him. Have a great time catching up with him every time I see him. But with that, you've done so well now with your YouTube channel that you're a full-time YouTuber now, right?